what's up everyone? Welcome back to T's Time. I'm TJ. Thank you for tuning in. I'm on a roll. The last few videos have been in the same day. We're getting it happen. We're making it happen. Maintenance on this, 1500 bottle service. I just did on the previous video the timing. Make sure our points, our capacitors / condensers are all good, square, good to go. Before I attempt to do today's video, I have a Dynatek ignition, electronic ignition, to get rid of those points and condensers, to have something a little bit more reliable. So this is like the main issue I have with the bike, is just dealing with the points and condensers. Everything else is fine. It runs, does what it needs to do. To get you where you need to go from point A to point B. Like, there's other issues we need to deal with, like our gauges and situations, but like I mainly got it to be a beater daily, and it served its purpose well. The only issue would be just the points and condensers, where I just kept extras with me with a test light to adjust on the side of the road for when those decided to crap out on me. So today, the Dynatek model I have is a DS1-2. It says Honda 500 cc, but it's also good for the 500, the 550, the 750. My bike is a 1978 550, so this is good. But double check your part numbers and make sure you find something that is compatible for your vehicle. So let me get this unboxed, and I haven't really looked at instructions, yeah, but let me get something to get this open with. All right, so you open it, has instructions. It looks like it should be pretty self-explanatory looking at it. All right, so can't help myself. But in instructions, this is the plate that goes on there, replaces the plate that's on there right now, and it uses a magnetic pickup versus the points in the condenser style. Wire to be spliced. The main plate right here. So this will be like that on the vehicle, like so, and that'll rotate, and then that will be the pickup. I believe the pickup will probably be something to do with that indent right there. Yes. All right, and there's nothing to it but to do it, so let's do it. Take all of our parts that we have, bring it over. And of course, when dealing with electrical, make sure you have all of your power off, and make sure you don't get shocked, don't electrocute yourself, don't ground anything out, don't short circuit anything. So yeah. All right, so let's start by getting this actually mounted, and then we'll worry about running our wires. But like the running of the wires and setting instructions that should follow the same path, you will need to remove your fuel tank. But let's get the old point system off. All right, so remove this. The advanced multiplier will be behind us. That will come out. The three screws that are holding on this plate will come out. All right, and we're back with reinforcements. I have Allen head set here for our ignition to get rid of those Phillips. So I got those are stainless steel, and then I also got a bunch of these bullet connectors, just because in the kit that comes with this, it includes like a crimp style connection, that right there, and I don't really like those, just for longevity and reliability. I'm not going to use those. I'm going to use these, and if I need be, cut this off and crimp on some bullet connectors. And what this black thing in here, it's like a splice. It's female bullet connectors. So all I have to do is cut this, and I have to find my power source. Once I get that mounted, it needs to be a switched 12-volt source. So let's get it mounted, And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna reset the factory ignition, the points and condensers with the Allen set on there, just so that way I know that that's good, that's set up to go, like if anything happens with the electronic ignition. So I'm gonna get that set up, and then we're gonna get this mounted, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. And I'm gonna use like the Allen keys to have it mounted onto the case, just so it stays on there and has something good to bite onto. And I'm also gonna use blue Loctite. So yeah. All right, so I have my Allen keys set on here, except for like the three that hold the actual plate on. Those will get replaced when I put the electronic ignition on. But I have the timing set for this, so like if anything does happen, I can just throw this back on and get it running. I'm gonna keep this with me. But right now you have to take this plate off. To remove this plate, there's a 10mm that holds this little, let's call it the crank bolt on, and behind that is the timing advancer. So we need to get that off to switch out the advancer for this guy right here, and that little indent is the magnet, the pickup. So we need to get this on behind there. But a 10mm, and then just something, a 23 or 24mm. I'm using a 24. It's not perfect size, but it'll do what I need it to do. And we're gonna remove that. And that is why I'm going to Allen keys. They were already kind of like rounded when I got it. I added to that, adjusting and stuff like that, but it took me probably a good 30 minutes getting this one out. You need to remove this right here. So you twist and pull like so. So you're trading that right there for that. This is new, old, new, old, old, new. And it also put a little grease around this. I'm about to put some spline grease on that. All right, the instructions say, you see that little magnet is about 1/4 of an inch. It's supposed to face to the left when the 1 and 4 are up at the top. So we need to get this in there at the spread. Spread like so. There we go. And then actually, let me show you, put some more grease. So wherever there's metal to metal contact, clean and re-grease those. And that's how you know it's properly on there, like so. Give it a little twist. It should push those out. It's seated. And note this little pin right there must sit in the crank. There's a little keyway. It needs to sit lined up in there like so. So we have that. All right. And then you take the hardware that you took off and you reinstall. Take a little dab of blue Loctite, just a dab. I'm gonna go crazy. All right, and then you have the old harness. What you could do, depending, is cut a little slit and run that through. or you can try to get your old harness off and slide this through. Right now we're just going to get this mounted, the plate, and it gets mounted like so. A good way to knowing is just the way that the wire runs. So just remember 1 and 4, 2 and 3 are on this side. So we're going to take the new hardware that we got, the Allen, the hex bolts, little Loctite. All right, so now we have the plate, it's mounted. This is the Allen key we're going to use to adjust once we get to that point. But right now you need to figure out your wiring. So you need to follow this. You're going to use the same mount locations, grommets that hold the harness on there. So that runs from there all the way going up through here. So this is going to be the end point where the harness is going to end up back in here. I'm going to get rid of this zip tie. And we're gonna get this little boot uncovered so we can get access to that. But in the instructions it says make sure you route the wire so it's not near your exhaust. You don't want it to melt or anything like that. And then also it says to source your 12-volt source power from, you can either do it from the coil packs, or it says 12-volt where our rear brake switch is. And this is also within this little boot here, so all of our connections are going to be done in there. I'm gonna get that stuff removed, but just follow your old cable or your old wire harness for your ignition plate right here, and get rid of that, and then just make your wires accessible. So let me do that, make your wires accessible. I'm gonna run the wires, and then I'm gonna show you the way I ran it, and then we're gonna get this hooked up. Yeah, so in the instructions it says, where are you? Right, you're going to connect the white wire to the blue original point wire, the black wire to the yellow original points wire, and then for the red, that's where we need to figure out your 12-volt ignition or switch. 12-volt switch, when you have it on and run, it should be 12 volts. And that says it could attach the, it says where it says these wires carry the switch 12 volts to the coil. Using the splice connectors provided, attach a separate red wire included in the kit to the black white wires that goes to the coil as shown below. Do not strip the wires. We're not doing that. We're getting rid of that. I have more bullet connectors. And it says the location for obtaining switch 12 volts in step 12 is one of several possibility locations. If a more convenient source of 12 volts is available, it may be used as long as it provides a sound connection. One such source is the 12-volt wire leading to the rear brake stoplight switch, and in some cases unused 12-volt receptacles can be found in a motorcycle's electrical system. Plug the red wire coming from the Dyna S into the red wire installed in step 12, the one you spliced that we're not going to splice. We're going to use bullet connectors. This completes the installation. Make sure all the connections are secure. So we do that, and then we'll get to the timing procedure. Yeah. All right, when you remove that boot and you get that out the way, you have these wires right here, blue, yellow, and these are going to your brake switch right there. Like I said, we're going to try to source, or the instruction set to source a 12 volt. Usually that's on the Honda anyway, and the wire diagrams is the 10, or not the 10, but the black is usually a 12 volt. So we're going to test out a test light before we make that connection. Actually, right now, while I have you, easy way, let's take our test light, let's ground that to the case. So you take, we have nothing. As soon as we turn the key on, that's our 12 volt. So that's what we're going to use. The black we're going to source, and that's where I got those the little splice, the female bullet connectors. We're going to splice into that with the connectors. Right now, remove these connectors right there for your points. We're gonna get rid of those. We're gonna get rid of the old harness right there. It's kind of hard to see because it's dirty, it's dark, but when I put the new wiring on, it'll be easier to see, so I'll show you then. All right, so this is a little easier to see the way I have it routed. I split the little grommet right there. I'm gonna leave that loose until we get the timing set, and along with like the clips that the harness sits in. And right there, get a little pointer. So right there, we're gonna leave that loose until we get the wires situated. I have the wires running up right here. And like the instructions said, so it's white to blue, black to yellow, and now for our 12-volt source, so we're going to use this, our brake light 12-volt, are switched. Alright, so the adapter that I have, the female bullet connectors are a little wide, so I put them a little tighter for the factory harness. And then right now I'm going to make a male to male with the two bullets that I have right here, and they'll fit. It'll be snug, but it'll fit into the factory bullet female connector. So you just need some wire, crimp those together, and they'll plug right in to there and into there. And what I'm going to use, I'm going to use the wire that came with the kit. I'm going to reuse that, repurpose that to make a little connector. So yeah. All right, and this is what I have right here. Just a little male to male to connect those. It's just wire that's stripped down to bare inside. Like so. So like so. There we go. And that is done. All right, now on to the fun part, the timing. All right. So it says, so the blue wire on the coil for your static, so 1 and 2. So I'm gonna take my test light, I'm gonna stick it under here, make sure it makes good contact. All right, and then ground to the case, which we have right here. All right, and then it says to hold advancing. Hold the little rotor, the black piece is the rotor. Fully advanced, that's clockwise. And then slowly rotate until the test light comes on. So clockwise, we're holding that as we rotate. right? If you can see, the advanced timing marks are right there. So right there with the rotor in advance, the light should be on. It's not. So you want to loosen up. Your bolts holding on your timing system. Hold it clockwise. And rotate the plate. Oh, there it is. All right. So holding the rotor clockwise is advancing it. And keep an eye on the light as we turn. And there it goes right there. All right, and tighten the plate down. All right, we're gonna tighten that down, and then we're gonna go do the other side. So you're gonna take out your test light, move it to the 2 and 3. And then you want to find your advanced time marks for 2 and 3. And that's right there. So the advanced mark right there. Oh. All right. And it's the same principle. Turn the rotor clockwise to advance it. And the light comes on. And just to verify that, we're going to hold the rotor and we're going to turn it advanced. And hold it advanced, and we're going to turn it just off. All right, and then when you adjust like the 1 and 4 side, the next will be the 2 and 3. So like if the plate didn't adjust correctly, the 2 Allen bolts that hold that on, you'll be able to get your adjustment that way to make sure you get your light to turn on. So we don't have to touch that, or I don't have to touch it for my application, but like if you do need to adjust, that's the order. Adjust the 1 and 4 by adjusting the plate, and then go and do your 2 and 3. And if it doesn't adjust or is not like correct once you have your 1 and 4 set, just loosen those and you could adjust that way. So yeah. And supposedly it should be good. So let's give it a go. Turn it on. Let's see if the bike runs. Make sure you have all your stuff, your wires away from your exhaust. Things won't fall over. I'm gonna put my little filter pod back on. It's on there just a little bit. run, neutral, run. And bada boom, bada bang, it's in, it's installed, it's finished. Go ahead and just zip tie, make sure everything's out of the way, make sure your wires are tight, put your cover back on. But it's pretty easy. The only thing is just kind of deciding if you want to use the crimp for your 12-volt source. But I think this worked out well. This is what I'm using. Wiring accessories 1882QT, 16 to 14 gauge, quick connect, one set. Off of Amazon. There's that if you need it. Just get that, and like having the Allen set just cleans it up and makes it easier to adjust and make sure that you got a good bite so everything is tight and won't lose, and a little bit of Loctite. So yeah, so I do appreciate you. I don't know about in the future with the bike what plans I have, if I want to build it or not, I don't know. I just want something that's reliable. So that's what this is going to do. It's going to be a test to see how reliable it is. I am going to carry the old point system with me until I can fully trust this. That would be like just in case, because the way I have it wired in, everything is reversible. All I have to do is just unplug, throw that on, keep a test light with me, and we could just get that swapped out if need be, along with the old advanced rotor piece that we took out. Keep that with us, just so if we're on the side of the road, if that does fail, we could throw that back in, and it's already been timed. So you just have to kind of just find the sweet spot with that on the main mounting bolts for those three. But on the case itself, like all this stuff is set. It's good. It's known to work. I've tested it. It works. So yes, I do appreciate you guys watching me. Like, subscribe. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, you know where to leave them. Leave them down in the comment section. And who knows what the future holds for the bike. Contemplating building it, contemplating not building it. Who knows? But until next Wednesday, I will have something else, whether either pickup truck work or the van. The van's been a long-going progress, or a process / making progress build on the off-grid camper. So that's still to come. But until next Wednesday, keep advancing, keep pushing forward, and try to keep a positive attitude. Peace. TJ. Oh, and make sure you go and you recheck the tightness of these Allen keys on the new ignition system here, the Dyna. Like some of them were somewhat loose, but just make sure that they're snug, so you don't want that loose. So you don't want that stuff to move on you when you're rolling down the road. But that's it. Until next time, peace.